don't get sidetracked by the idea of fame and glamour. It's all fake. I'm Anton Corbijn. I'm a photographer first, foremost, and then I'm also a filmmaker, and sometimes graphic designer and stuff, and sometimes stage designer. But I came here because I was asked to be part of the jury for the film festival. I'm the head of the features jury. What role fits you best? Where do you feel most comfortable in? Well, I mean, making a movie is a bigger undertaking because it's more or less a year of your life, and I'm in my late 60s, so it's an important part of my life now, but it's not the main part of my life yet. Photography, I still love doing that because it's the simplicity of photography, especially after you've made a film. You go back to photography, the simplicity is beautiful. You're your own boss, you know. You don't have to think about too many things. It's very direct. I like that a lot. So and I like doing little things in my studio, making covers for books. I do it with paint or whatever. I like all that. I like just making things. You know, I think I would be crazy if I couldn't make something. Absolutely. Financially, photography has rewarded me immensely, but it's not why you should do photography, because it's a wrong idea that people have, is that it's all glitter and glamour and money, and it's mostly there's hardly any money in photography unless you're lucky, you know. I mean, if you have people in front of your lens, film, like in a movie or with the photography, those people are used to the lens, to photographers, to camera people, to directors. How do you make them feel that this is not just another lens? I think that, like all these cameras, most people have the same equipment these days, so it really has to be the person who holds the camera to make the difference. So that's your job, you know. You said something about the key is access to people. It's quite difficult sometimes to get to the people, and you have maybe with Nelson Mandela, you said like 5 to 6 minutes with him. Oh, not even. Not even. How do you manage to use that amount of time to actually get to the person? Very focused, and I don't really have a schooling, you know, in photography, but the schooling I did have was as a photographer for a music paper in Holland, and then, you know, artists would come to Holland and they would do the whole day interviews, and every interviewer in those days, in the 70s, they would have a photographer with them. So you would get 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So you have to prove yourself in the few minutes. So you got very inventive with the space you've been given and the opportunity. And I'm still like that. I don't like long photo shoots. You know, I like getting to the point. And that's a risk, but so far it works for me. Do you work differently as a filmmaker? Yeah, because it's much more planning. You know, my photography is much more intuitive. I think I know I see a surrounding. I leave a lot to chance. With filmmaking, because there's so much money involved, you need to make a plan. You know, yeah. So yes, I work differently. Now, how firmly do you allow yourself to be defined or reduced by one piece, one photo, or do you prefer to see your work as a total work? I mean, I understand that some images, you know, appeal to more people than others. Like Miles Davis, for instance, is one of them, or Bowie or Beefheart, so all the early years. But you know, for me, because I'm not a studio photographer, I go to the artist instead of the artist coming to me. So it's a whole journey, and where you arrive at these people, quite often in their home or wherever, all is part of my memory of the shoot. And also when I see the photograph, these things are part of it. So when you mentioned Nelson Mandela, yeah, that was wonderful. I used to go there and come back with this picture. But you know, I have Bonner to thank for it because he arranged it for me. As a jury president, I mean, the films you watch, a lot of upcoming film makers, everyone is probably not quite new to the industry, but still they need to be seen. Yeah, it's the first, second or third feature filmmakers, yeah. It's quite a lot of responsibility who you give the eye. you know, it's unfortunate you can only give it to one person, because there's a few films I think that are deserving of attention. But you know, I've only made 4 films myself, so I should be in the same category. Yeah, no, it's a responsibility for sure. But I don't know, if people have faith in themselves, even if they don't get the award, because it can only go to one person, you should go with that. You should have faith in yourself, and despite of what other people think.